the reopening of public schools, and we had talked about the busing and how the Department of Public Works plans to transport your children to school safely in a way that mitigates the risk of the spread of the coronavirus. And so we'll bring on the deputy from DPW, Jess Garcia, on the Zoom room, the Link Zoom room. Good morning, Jess.
Hey, good morning, Chris and Sabrina.
Hi.
First of all, thank you for figuring out the Zoom. Appreciate it.
Technology.
Are you like outside the office? You've got your seatbelt on, or you're in your car?
Yeah, I'm in the car. I pulled over.
Nice.
Oh, nice. Thank you for taking time.
Yeah, so let's get right into it. We got this. This is a tentative diagram that Jess was able to give us, and we're going to go ahead and pop that up. And this diagram basically is the proposed, and this is proposed as of last month, the proposed busing layout here. Is it? There's an example of a bus seating arrangement. Jess, I guess just first of all, tell us what kind of meetings did you guys have in trying to figure out how to get the kids on this bus in a way that prevents the risk of spread of COVID-19?
So working together with DOE and Department of Public Health and there's other key players involved in this school planning startup, Chris. So what we have there on the busing is the actual bus takes about 60 pack students on a bus on a regular school transport, and the proposed design is to take probably about 24 students, but there's still ongoing discussion on how do we manage the students in the bus. So we're looking at different options with getting assistance from the National Guard probably to assist us in the safe distancing in the bus.
So you're looking at a PAX of 24. Have you gotten any numbers from the Department of Education or even private schools in terms of how many students plan to be riding the bus?
Yes, that's the issue we're having right now is they haven't come up with the actual count of how many students and how they're going to do their school classroom size and stuff like that. So that's all. The busing is going to depend on what they decide to do on the busing for the school. I mean the school classroom size and stuff.
Have they given you guys or set a deadline to come up with this final number? Because this seems like it's going to take a lot of planning.
Right. Yeah.
Yes, that's the problem, Sabrina. Is that we've been working with the schools and key players involved with this opening of the schools, right? So everything is not final yet, and it all depends on how they want to handle the school enrollment.
What about the school buses? Are they still being used to transport rivals to Guam?
To the quarantine facility?
As of this time, yes, we are using the school buses for the quarantine facility transport. But it depends again on what the requirements are going to be for the school. Either we contract the quarantine facility section of our operation at this time to private bus companies.
Yeah, just wondering if it's going to be,
but in the
buses
meantime,
you're using for quarantine are going to be the same buses that you're going to be transporting school students.
But that's not a good look. I don't know if parents are going to want their kids on the COVID bus.
Yeah, well, anyways, so what happens with even with our regular busing with this COVID, right? Our drivers, as soon as the transport has been completed, they sanitize the bus and get it ready.
Okay,
for
so
anything that we have.
So then, if you could, then Jess, just take us through the protocol. My son's at the bus stop, and here comes DPW. They're going to pick him up. What happens from the bus stop to the campus?
Yes. Okay. So our regular our bus transport things. So once a child gets to the bus station, it becomes the responsibility of the government. DOE and takes control and all. So you know how in the past, right? We have Amber Alerts of missing kids and stuff. So once they get to the bus stop and something happens to the kid, DOE and Public Works we kick in our plan to operate of looking for these kids and stuff like that, right? So it's the same thing. It's regular operations of our bus, the way we handle the kids. But now the key is how do we transport now with this COVID?
Right.
All right. So
So from bus stop to the school and then school to home.
so my,
So
my
our regular operations are is the same, Sabrina.
yeah. But what now that we're in COVID? What are the protocols? What's changed? My son just doesn't get on the
So
bus,
that's
right?
what we're
Does he have
yes.
no
So
mask,
that's
no
what we're
entry?
working on with yes. So that's what we're working on with public health and the other key players in this thing with the COVID.
Right.
So what it is what we gave you was a proposed seating arrangement in the bus.
Right.
So right now we're looking at maybe 24 max. It could be less, but we just that's just for planning purposes. So depending on what the school decides is what's going to happen. Just say, for example, you have 30 kids on a school bus pickup, right?
Yeah.
Elementary kids. So are we going to send 2 buses there to pick that one station up? But we have other stations we need to pick up along that same route. So these are things that we have to figure out once the school gives us their schedule.
Right. Jess, so I'm thinking if we're having half the number of kids on the bus, that's either going to mean we need to do double the trips or have double the buses. No, I know we don't have double the buses. So when you talk about maybe contracting out the transportation services for the quarantine facilities, are we maybe looking at augmenting our school bus fleet by doing the same thing to help with the busing? Maybe private buses?
Yes, those are different things. So we don't only deal with the public school, right?
Yeah.
Chris, we're dealing with private school transport too. So these are all things that have to come into play of how we're going to schedule our drivers. Do we have enough buses? Do we have enough?
Yeah, but it's 11 days away.
staff.
So how are we looking, Jess? Is it we're going to come up with a plan on the night before school, or?
But so it's still ongoing. I believe you have spoken to the superintendent, John Fernandez, and we're still coming up with the schedule and stuff, how to handle this thing.
Right. What about?
Rest assured that whatever it is, Public Works we're ready to tackle whatever issues we have with buses.
Right. Jess, what about? We had a comment here, and I don't even know if you got to this part. Temperature checks, that kind of thing before entry into the bus. So if you could answer that, do you know anything about that?
Okay. So roughly, so if those were discussions that we had with DOE, right? So if you were to have the bus driver do the temperature check before they get into the bus, then we're gonna have a significant delay in busing the school kids to school. So what's gonna be key to this whole thing, Chris, is that the parents, before they even get their kids ready for school, they should make sure that their kids are able to go to school with healthy, right? They get their if they're sick, they stay home. Don't send your kid to school if they have a cold or whatever.
Right.
Precautionary measures, just stay home. And then what it is they'll get onto the bus. When they get to the school, and this is still on discussion, that when they get down at the school will take the temperature.
Right.
And then,
Yeah. Sorry, I see that now.
So it's a lot of things that we're discussing, and it's DOE is trying to do the education part and the transport and stuff. So we're still working, and it's real difficult. This is a thing that we never tried before. So
Right.
we're gonna have issues probably starting up. It's not gonna be perfect, but we're gonna try to make it as easy as possible.
Jess, what about the younger kids? When we were talking yesterday, you had said something about, man, I don't know if I heard you right, National Guard on the elementary school buses to enforce the social distancing requirements.
So that's still yes, that's still in the planning stage. So elementary kids, right? They're kind of
Disatento?
difficult. No, not. But it's harder for them to understand, right? The first time they're on the bus, right? kindergarten or first, second, third graders, right? Those are the ones that kind of have a hard time obeying the rules, right? So what we're gonna do is probably like for the elementary kids, have the National Guard on the bus to make sure that this safe distancing and is abide to on the bus for the smaller kids until they become aware of how they're supposed to ride the bus with this COVID.
Right. So I'm just National Guard. We were joking about this yesterday. I mean,
Well,
this,
you know,
Jess,
there's,
Nanga, hold on. Hey, you
Okay,
boy,
okay, sir.
go 6 feet. Go 6 feet away, boy. Are they going to be armed or armed National Guard?
We're gonna get the ones that are calm.
Sir, yes, sir.
Not a drill sergeant. We're not putting a drill
Yeah,
sergeant.
don't
on
put the
board.
drill sergeant. Put the nice private. Yeah, so you are considering that because the kids. There's a lot of unknown factors in there, right? And I can just see little kids coming in the bus and they want to sit next to their best friend and they go and do that and it's social distancing. So there's going to be some type of grown up we're looking at having some type of grown up other than the bus driver, right? Because like you said, bus driver got to drive the bus.
Right.
Yes, and then we're also looking at other stuff, right? So you know how you have these people that are put out of unemployment because of the COVID with the PUA, stuff like that. So people that are not working and they, we're trying to see how can we work the system in where those people that are unemployed can be employed to work while they're getting some kind of a payment from the government or whatever it is. Well, it's all discussion, Chris.
Yeah.
What about your?
We don't have to use the National Guard if we come up with
Why don't we use
another
ninjas?
form of getting employment. Then
What about your bus drivers and ensuring they're also protected and safe?
Yes, so that's why the bus driver would just drive the bus, and then the person or the National Guard or whoever we assign to make sure the placement of the kids in the bus is handled by somebody else.
Right, but do your bus
We want the bus
drivers?
driver just to concentrate on bus driving.
Yeah.
and-
Do they have all the necessary PPEs to last them throughout the school years? Do they have? Do you guys have all the cleaning supplies that you're
Yes,
gonna need?
we have the cleaning supplies. We'll order more as needed. We have a sufficient amount right now for the buses, but as the school year goes along, we're still gonna have to reorder and keep our supply up.
Stockpile.
But those are all being considered into our plan.
Right. And how often are you guys? Is this like an everyday kind of thing? You're just trying to figure it out until you get her done.
Yes, so we're working very closely with DOE on this issue.
And when are you going to fold in the? So you handle it with DOE, and then you go to bus operations and say, "Hey, this is what we're gonna do."
Yes, so like what I told you, there's a lot other key players, right, Chris?
Right.
So we discuss it with DOE, and then we show the plan to the medical physicians and public health to approve our plan. Because in case there's an outbreak in the bus, we're gonna need to know what student had it and where he was sitting and who he was next to. There's a lot of things that come
Right.
into play.
Yeah. Wow.
There's not just one, just transporting and that's it. There's other things that come into play in case somebody's infected with the virus coming to school. Right?
And so we're
Yeah,
getting.
how do you do that though? How do you track, or you can make them like do roll call?
That's why
on the
we're
bus?
still planning this thing.
Really?
And then,
That just seems like you're gonna have to
It's real
write,
difficult.
write your name. Okay, you're in seat number 15.
Yes, so that's what it is, and then as this, just say for example, we already have the thing going, right, the school pickup and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So as the driver becomes familiar now with the students that are supposed to be riding the bus, then he would know.
Right. Right.
But it's going to be rough the first few weeks for sure.
All right.
All right, Jess. So when are we gonna get a finalized plan? And then there's also the
bus schedule.
scheduling, right? So we're just talking about fitting the kids on the bus. We haven't even talked about how you're gonna
And that's
schedule
it.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So that's the key is DOE. What is their schedule going to be like? Because then that's when I now need to now schedule the school busing pickups and stuff like that.
How
Do
many?
we have to start real early to get the kids to school at a certain time, or
How many school buses do you guys have?
we have about 140 buses running.
And out of the 140, how many are being used for COVID quarantine?
So that's an interesting question you brought up. So again, a lot of our drivers they may have some medical conditions that may not want to drive this school year because of the COVID.
Right.
So it's same like in a workplace, right? You have people that are have issues with health issues that want to keep away from customers or whatever they're dealing with,
So how
or
many?
even with their coworker. So we're running into that issue right now.
How many
People are
drivers do
saying
you
that
have?
we have about we have drivers that enough to cover most of our routes. But the problem is that some of these drivers have underlying condition.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. How many bus drivers do you have total?
We have about 120
120.
some bus drivers right now.
And
But
how,
like what I'm saying, that it may go down because of the
the
some
underlying
of them
health
may-
conditions
may,
and concerns.
yeah.
How many have
So
expressed
that's why we're
concern so
looking
far?
at also getting private bus companies to get involved.
How many bus
We're
drivers?
so planning right now, like what I
Yeah.
said.
So how many bus drivers have expressed concerns about not wanting to drive because of the COVID or may have underlying health conditions?
There's probably like around maybe around 30.
Jeez.
Whoa.
Because even before the school, before this COVID, we had bus drivers that are already on
Light duty.
what
Right.
we call.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
And so, Jess, these are, I'm guessing they have health complications ranging from diabetes to hypertension, any of these pre-existing conditions that make people more susceptible to really go
Yes,
down if
and
they
then
get the COVID.
yeah. Well, and then with the regular bus operations, right? Every year the drivers have to go and get health certification to make sure that they're safe or they're able to drive a bus.
And I'm sorry, out of the 140 school buses, how many are being used for COVID quarantine transport?
It depends, Sabrina. So it depends when we get the itinerary from GIA, the airport, of how many flights are coming in, how many packs and stuff like that. So we estimate the buses that need to be used.
Well, what's the average?
The average is about maybe 8 buses.
Okay.
And that's besides transporting their baggage, right? So we have another crew for transporting the baggage to the hotel.
So how much is that?
So it's not only bus operations involved up at the airport with DPW.
So I'm sorry, so how much total then?
We have about 8 buses average.
That's
at the
including
airport,
the baggage.
Well, we don't use the buses for the baggage. We use flatbeds or box
Oh, I see.
trucks,
Okay.
vans
I see.
to move the baggage.
Okay.
All right, Jess. Thank
All
you
right.
for figuring out
Okay,
the
just
Zoom.
give me a call, man.
Yeah, no. Now
just
that
let me know.
how to do the Zoom, we'll just call you random anytime they got a question. We're just gonna Zoom
Pop you
call.
up.
Hey, all right.
Okay, all right.
Thanks,
you,
Jess.
Take
Appreciate
care,
it,
Jess.
man.
Be
Thank you.
safe.
So,
Thank
wash
you.
your hands.
Okay.
Wear a mask.
you. Same to
Okay.
you.
Okay, sir.
Right here.
Right on. There you got it. Okay. Hey, 6:57. We're gonna take a short break and come back with Senator Theresa Lahi